What's up, guys? I'm Alexis Nunes, and you are watching Chasing Green Arrows. Do you know what? It's very hard to call favorites for this one because you would think, I suppose, looking at the two countries, two powerhouses of European football on paper, this is a matchup that's worthy of the final, as mentioned. But I think I'm going to give Italy the favorites tag going into this one, just because at least from what I've seen and so far, I've not been able to see Spain live and direct in person. I got to see Italy in the round of 16 match when it came here to Wembley. And to be honest, that was the first time that I actually saw Italy a bit troubled, because so far, obviously, they had a perfect group stage, so to speak. They, wowed everybody, as we all do love Italy sometimes, especially in history. I always say that there's two countries that made me fall in love with football, Brazil being one of them, because my father always made me watch Brazil. But Italy, I mean, I think everyone loves when Italy does play well in football. And it's so good to see them back after the shock from the last World Cup. So I think Italy would be favorites going into this one. Spain, though, have proven definitely do not count them out. I saw their very first match in the group stage, I said, oh, this could be a short tournament for Spain, because we understand that they are going through a rebuild. We understand that, Luis Enrique is doing what he can. A lot of them are still so young, which is what we forget. And I know, of course, you can look at England, and England's team still is relatively young. But Italy's own is still young, still needing that experience. I mean, Spain's team, rather, still so young, still needing kind of that experience or that out and out kind of leader, even though they do have a couple of big names littered there. I was saying, I'm not sure Spain are going to last very long in this one, but they have the fight of a lion or a million bulls, of course, as the Spanish bulls we know. And they definitely, I think that has worked in their favor. They do probably need someone that can definitely guarantee those goals. I know we finally have seen goals come from the likes of Alvaro Morata. He obviously fueled as well by things that were happening to him off the pitch. And I think that could play a huge factor in this one. Like Spain, you can never count them out, no matter how inexperienced you may think this team is. But they're still Spain, and they play and they fight when they have that crest on their chest. But if we're going to go for this one, I'm going to go for Italy, because apart from England and apart from Belgium, obviously Belgium out now and Italy ousting them, I thought from the first match that I saw Italy was that they're one of the most complete teams or squads I think I've seen in this tournament. They don't just heavily rely on a big name here and there. I think from front to back, they just play as a unit, and I think that's something that's sometimes underrated in this one. You assume that you can just chuck it to, a big name like a Cristiano Ronaldo and just hope that they do the trick. But I think Italy have shown that, the whole team from back to front is just a complete unit. And that's why I wouldn't be surprised that they'll get my nod to be in the final come Sunday. Man, when I saw the confirmation about the torn Achilles tendon, that is just the last injury you would ever wish on even your worst enemy, especially someone who had been in such good form. Spinazzola, he got man of the match in the round of 16 match that I got to see live at Wembley. We got to talk to him after, and he was just beaming. He had the biggest smile ever. And, because he felt in good form, Italy felt in good form, got to speak as well to Mancini after really quickly. And he had said nothing is down to him, even though obviously people give him props as manager. He's like, I just have a really special group this time, and everybody just understands their role. And I think that Spinazzola was just one of them that really was happily taking that spotlight on him. And I was quite excited for him. So it's absolutely heartbreaking. I think understandably it's going to be a blow. I still think, for example, if we're going to throw ahead and choose the two favorites of the two finals, and many obviously will choose England to go through, and as I've chosen Italy to go through, I think you're going to want all your recruits, especially the one or one of them that has been a star for you, to go up against, England. England, are stacked from front to back, from bench to even their B bench. And I think that's a huge blow for Italy. But again, like I said, it's so good to see them not having to rely specifically on one player to kind of carry them through. They seem to understand each other's roles and whatnot. And I think, like I said, they play more of this like a cohesive unit. I remember in the Premier League, I think it was probably either last season or the season before, when Southampton went on a nice little run and Danny Ings was scoring, left, right, and center, and everything looked like it was going well for Southampton. And people said, this is what football is, when you don't necessarily rely on, say, a Paul Pogba or a Cristiano Ronaldo, but you just play as a team and you can tell they know each other like the back of their hand. And I think Italy have something like that going through. So even though Spinazzola is a massive miss, obviously, I do pick them to still have enough to get together and probably come out the winners in this semi-final. I think definitely start him because, like I said, I mean, he went through so much, I guess, abuse off the pitch, as we know, even his family getting death threats and stuff online, which is absolutely outrageous. But you could see how it did affect him. I mean, to the point where he had to file complaints and police reports. But then in the next match, it's just much like how we looked at, you know, with England, with Harry Kane, and you can see when that pressure is weighing on you to not score a goal. And I think in the last match specifically, Alvaro Morata just came alive. You know, he kind of took all of the criticism on his back in the right way and let his game do the talking. And like I keep saying, the Spanish side is still so young, still a lot of them needing that experience on the international stage. And he's one that does have it. And it's bad because everyone was looking at him and he was not being this massive leading figure that everyone wanted him to be. And I think we finally got to see that glimpse of that after that last match. You could see exactly what it meant to him. So I think that I would start him because I think that was a huge confidence boost. And if you have one of your best players, you know, or one of your biggest names already on a confidence boost and feeling that momentum, then, you know, why bother break it, I suppose, especially one in what will be Spain's biggest match so far of this tournament. So I think definitely start him there up front while he's got that confidence, he's got that momentum. He, you know, helped rally the troops as well a lot in the last match. So I definitely would start him. Do you know what it is? I think Italy, as much as Spain, I think both sides, a huge factor will be that they do need to take their chances. I've seen Italy as well, like I said, in that round of 16 match, and I know that it was a harder one for them, and they did seem to struggle, but they did create chances. They created so many chances, and it was just outrageous to see. I suppose, you know, not the finishing that you'd want, I suppose, in the final third. And that's the same thing with Spain, you know. But Spain, I suppose you can chalk it off to, again, this being a young team needing that experience. But I think, you know, whoever really takes their chances in that final third and tries their best to, you know, put the game to bed early as they should, I think that will be a huge deciding factor in this one. And again, I still, given the names on the paper and the momentum that we've seen and the form that we've seen, I'm going to give Italy just that edge because I think that Spain is hugely lacking in that department. But again, you never know. These matches end up being like a cup final each time. So I guess we'll see.